Hi, my name is Elaine Beattie. I'm a recreation therapist at the North Cottage at Hawthorne Senior Care Community. Imagine trying to focus on your job knowing that someone you've come to deeply care about is dying alone in their room. You know they may be afraid and no family has arrived, but you cannot possibly take the time to sit with them as you have your daily responsibilities to attend to. These could be the realities in healthcare, but there is need for change. Residents can be comforted with someone at their bedside when needed. They can stay at home in their own room with a supportive care team with whom they are familiar instead of being shipped off to hospitals unnecessarily, where unfortunately many die. This is the reality. We saw the need for improvements. So in 2011, the staff at Hawthorne Senior Care Community formed a team to enhance the end-of-life care for our residents. They can stay at home in their own room with a supportive care team with whom they're, I messed that up. In recognition of the fact that individuals require personalized support and comfort measures. The passionate, diverse members of the committee are dedicated to the well-being and care of the residents and draw on their expertise to create an individual, meaningful, and comfortable experience for them in their final days. Something that we all want is to die with dignity. After consultation, research best practices, site visits, meetings, and a review of the life protocols, the end-of-life protocols, the committee developed a multifaceted plan for active dying protocols as a first step. Now through nursing checklists, coordination of care, communication with families, caregivers, the community, and volunteers that are specifically trained in end-of-life care, we provide the residents with the utmost in compassionate care. Knowing that each resident has their individual preferences and relating to their own individual life story. As a result, residents and families are better supported, and unnecessary transfers of residents to acute care have been reduced. The Monarch Room, one of several initiatives due to double rooms, was created to provide a space where families can gather, support, reminisce, and grieve in privacy. When touring Crossroads, the hospice in Port Moody, we were in awe of the beautiful wall-hanging quiltings that they had throughout the facility. We notified the Blue Mountain Quilters and asked if they would like to visit Hawthorne Senior Care Community. As it turned out, they had just finished a beautiful butterfly wall hanging and were looking for a home for it. She stated it was serendipitous, as the timing was just perfect. The Monarch Room opened in 2014. The Monarch Room represents transitions, hope, and new beginnings. Michael is going to go into a little bit more detail on the initiatives that we took.
Hi everyone, again, my name is Michael Sochor, and I'm a music therapist for Hawthorne Senior Care Community, and I'm also part of the Comfort Care Committee. And I asked myself, why do we bother to form a Comfort Care Committee? And just pretty straightforward. We felt that something was just simply missing, and our guts were just simply telling us so. There were gaps in the facility that made some of us feel that we could do better to support someone in the actively dying process. As well, looking even more closely to resident needs, now we can better support family and residents during this difficult time. Space bar. The committee consists of a number of different disciplines, including nurses, both LPNs and RNs, care coordinators, music therapists, recreation therapists, social worker, residential care aides, and volunteers. So it's very inclusive. The collaboration is fantastic as it enhances communication and understanding between one another and our roles in providing comfort measures, and how we can all contribute. I remember the first few meetings being a lot of work. Everyone was just very excited, very engaged, and everyone just laid everything on the table. The ideas were just piling on top of each other, and it was very difficult to sort of organize at first. But it's really just because everyone's excited and committed to be a part of this. It was at first, again, as I said, complicated, but once looking back, it was beautiful because everyone cared so deeply about the people living under Hawthorne's roof. I'm going to share with you a brief description of what we have accomplished and continue to take into consideration, because nothing's perfect, right? Enhancing communication between all disciplines was the first step. Everyone had their own system and way of working, but we need to pay attention to define roles and how we can find a system of communication that would work well for everyone that focused on supporting the individual and families. Out of this came a modified actively dying protocol to add and define roles. Because we had one, we always focus on comfort measures. It's just tweaking it. Access to resources was the next focus. We felt that access to a variety of resources is important for families and volunteers and staff to better support residents who are actively dying. Resources include coffee, that's my attempt at a joke, kind of. Aromatherapy, songbooks so families could sing to their loved one, reading resources, you read to, poetry, lotion, massaging, access to recorded music or preferred music. Not everyone likes the same thing. A simple box of tissues, having privacy, and support available on site by everyone because we all care. This includes having access to social workers and the therapists there and the nurses, of course, the curates and volunteers. Some people do not know what support systems are available. And we want the families to have more awareness and understanding of how much support we can provide them. How can we best support you? Volunteer training for comfort measures was the other focus. This was a pretty big one and continues to be worked on. The volunteer coordinator and retired registered nurse from Hawthorne have taken the time to create a program to train volunteers who are interested in supporting someone who is near death. There's a lot of interest in this. The program was aimed to raise awareness of expectations when someone is dying, to further understand stages of grieving, and learn how they can help or support someone who's actively dying. The environment was another main focus. Environmental considerations were always on our minds because many of the rooms are shared between two residents at Hawthorne Seniors Care Community in one of 3 complex care buildings we have. Maybe the resident wishes to have privacy during this difficult time or have a space to be surrounded by family. This is why the Monarch Room came to be. If he or she wishes, the resident could move to the room easily and have other comfort measures in place. It's not everyone would want that room. They may want it, so they want to spend it with their roommate too. The Comfort Care Committee provides education, skills, support, and resources as needed to encircle the dying person with compassionate care in an attempt to create a comfortable and dignified environment. Volunteers and staff utilize their knowledge of residents to recognize and explore cultural, spiritual, and personal wishes. And we'll then pass it over to Ramona, who is a dedicated volunteer.
Hi there. I'm Ramona, and I'm the team leader of the Comfort Care Volunteers. It's difficult to express exactly why I find volunteering with the Comfort Care team as deeply satisfying as I do. Certainly providing families with some peace of mind is a large part of that feeling. Families will often exhaust themselves trying to be at their loved one's side 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, until out of fear, rather, that their loved one will be alone when the end comes. Their gratitude when our team allows them some respite time is deeply felt. It is, however, the connection to the individual passing that affects me most profoundly. It has always felt like a privilege to come into somebody's life at such a personal time, when they are at their most vulnerable and sometimes their most frightened. To be able to ease a person's fear with a gentle touch and a word, to impart a sense of not being alone, of being loved, to help ease a person's transition into death, feels like the greatest thing we can do for another being. I had benefited from the Comfort Care program personally, as my mom was a resident at Hawthorne for several years. In sharp contrast to my father's end-of-life experience in a shared room a dozen years earlier, my mom's passing became a healing family event. Due to a miscommunication, Mom wasn't moved into the monarch room until just hours before her death. She passed quickly and gently as our family gathered. Holding her hand, we told stories, sometimes laughing, sometimes crying, as we took in the shock of her death. Given the freedom to stay, we lingered until we were ready to let her go. By then, we were okay. The monarch